Today we're getting to work in Jaworzno and we'll be discussing a topic that's very much in season for spring and summer, definitely relevant right now, which is servicing car air conditioning. We've arrived at Dawood's place. Hi, good to see you.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Welcome.
What does your service look like here and what will we show today?
A lot of work. We'll mainly show how to take care of the air conditioning. Come on, I'll show you step by step what we're going to do. Here we have our first station. We have a machine for servicing air conditioning, so we'll be doing a standard service that should be performed regularly. This means removing the refrigerant, cleaning the system, refilling it properly and checking the air conditioning.
Sure.
Let's move on to the second station. The next customer is already lined up for this station. Here we will be cleaning the evaporator, which is our specialty. We have the cleaning equipment, we will pour in the chemicals, we will access the evaporator in the car, which is where the smell collects, and we will wash it, disinfect it and clean it.
This equipment looks really quite modern. I think it's rare to see such modern equipment in a service center. What is it? Was it bought just for the recording?
No, not at all. Not for the recording. We have 3 workstations and at each one we have equipment for servicing air conditioning. Precision is important in air conditioning, so the equipment has to be good, the scales have to be accurate, everything has to be measured.
Okay, but if something, let's say, is leaking from the radiator or something like that, do you handle that too?
That too. That's exactly what we'll be doing as well. So I'll take you straight to the 3rd workstation. And here we have Dad's Kingdom, which is mainly service, repairs, replacements, exactly.
Good morning.
If we find a leak or something dripping from the condenser, that's when we repair or replace it. Not just here, wherever there's room, but this is the main repair station.
As I can see and hear, the phones keep ringing.
Definitely customers, exactly.
So you get customers who travel here too, right?
They travel to us from all over Poland.
Okay, oh my.
We have it set up so that if I don't answer, it goes to Dad, so...
Call after call, my friends. Let's get to work quickly. As you can see, there are a lot of cars in the lot, and the AC has to work. It has to cool, not heat. So let's get to work.
Let's get to work. Generally in Poland we use 2 basic refrigerants. That's R1234, which is the new one, and R134, which is the old one, commonly speaking.
How often should we come to you, for example, for air conditioning service?
Check the air conditioning system every 2 to 3 years.
Check it every 2 or 3 years.
Inspect the system, pull a vacuum, add the correct amount of refrigerant, and ensure everything is working properly. And that's what we're going to do now.
So let's get to work.
Let's do it.
I should mention that Dawood is active on social media. We also connected on TikTok, as I showed recently.
Yes.
And a young carpenter, a young pizzaiolo who was making pizzas. Be sure to watch those episodes. Similarly, that's how I met Dawood. He wrote to me on TikTok 3 or 4 days ago.
Yes, because we didn't have time to prepare. It was spontaneous because we really only had 3 days.
Yes, I said, we'll be there on Wednesday. We're coming with a camera. We're getting to work. There will be patients. There will be cars. We're recording. So it's worth being active on social media.
Exactly.
I say this every episode. Self-promotion is important. Your dad likely agreed, right?
Exactly. When we started recording videos, it changed everything. New contacts open up, companies reach out, we can run trainings, meet people like you. So there's nothing left to do but take action. Alright, we have a car here with the new refrigerant, and since it's a bit expensive, not cheap, people like to replace it either with the old refrigerant, which isn't so bad, but they also try to put in other gases like LPG, so we have to check that. Because if we suck some bad gas into the machine, then every customer will get that bad gas mixed with ours.
Okay.
So that's the basic thing. I'm connecting it because to work with gas, you need to have the proper qualifications. Maybe we'll discuss it later. So we're connecting to the system. For now, we're not opening it yet, and you can go ahead on your own now. We use the buttons and moving on to the service work. That's right, and at the very bottom we have the refrigerant analysis. We click, and now the device is heating up. We have to wait. We don't close the valve yet. We wait until it heats up, and soon it will start the analysis. Alright, the equipment is heated up. Let's move on. We close the valve, and you can click there, the green check mark.
Continue.
That's right. And now it's taking in the gas and analyzing it. We'll know exactly in percentages what gas is in the system.
So if any other gas was introduced, it will detect it.
It will detect it.
And it will let us know what it is.
Yes, it will show us first, then print out a detailed analysis of what's in the system.
You mentioned a moment ago that to even connect something like this and work with air conditioning, you need to have completed some courses, right?
Exactly. The only thing we need to do is get what's called F-gas certification, which is a certificate to be able to work with gases. That's the only thing we legally have to do to start working with air conditioning.
And is that something you have to pay for? How does it work?
F-gas certification costs about 500 zlotys, so the entry threshold isn't really that high.
Okay, so we get a license like that for testing, for example, or working with air conditioning.
With gases?
With gases, but also with air conditioning.
Of course.
To do that kind of work.
That's right. Analyzing the refrigerant, and we have R1234YF listed, 99.1% within the normal range, just as it should be. The refrigerant is correct. Now you can print the service report, and here we get a printout for the customer. The gas has been checked, it's clean. I'm connecting the equipment to the car, and what now? We can start the service. In every car it looks very similar. The connectors might be in a different place.
So if you specialize in air conditioning, you don't have to adapt to this car. The customer just comes in and you know how to do it.
Exactly, you know what to do. The main thing to watch is how much refrigerant goes in, but we'll discuss that soon. I'll show you everything when we start. Usually in cars, as you can see, there should be a sticker that shows the type of refrigerant, but also the amount that goes into the system. And in almost every car, it's under the hood. Actually, here in the Dacia, we don't have that. There are different databases, and we have one of those databases here in the machine, so you can access the database. And the Dacia Docker has been around since 2015.
Only...
Exactly. Now we're moving on to the next stage. Here we have everything listed that will happen with our system. So first, the recovery phase, which means recovering this agent, this refrigerant, this gas from the system. Next is the vacuum phase, the longest stage, lasting 20 minutes, when we clean the system and do other tasks. From moisture, so basically a vacuum is created in the system, the machine pumps everything out and cleans it. The last stage is the filling phase, when the amount of refrigerant is supplied. Here it has already automatically set 440 grams, because that's exactly how much this car takes. That's what the manufacturer recommends. Oil will also be supplied. Here we have an entry for additional oil, meaning this is oil if we wanted to add more than that. Because when we remove the refrigerant, we'll also remove some oil from the system, the oil that circulates together with the gas, with the refrigerant. And to make sure everything is as it should be, just like the manufacturer did, we have to return the same amount that we removed.
So what, do we click confirm?
We click confirm. Now everything will happen automatically, so we can relax. It's working on its own now.
While we're still standing by this machine, before we move on, a question about the cost of such a machine. As I mentioned earlier, it's quite modern, basically the brain of this workshop. How much does something like this cost?
Well, a machine like this is really top of the line on the market, so you have to pay around 20,000 for it. That's only for the machine, not including the small analyzer we used for the test. Because that's a separate accessory that we can add, since we can customize that machine. That kind of machine also costs around 10,000 separately, that little square.
Let's move on. And here, as you can see, 30,000 is working for us now.
Yes, exactly.
So, regular car services like that one, for example, air conditioning, how many of those can you do in a day?
I have 3 workstations, so I can work on 3 cars at the same time. One service like that takes about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to be safe. Let's say an hour and a half, including basic disinfection.
And the cost of such basic disinfection? Let's say nothing happened, but we come in every 2 or 3 years?
A full service depends on the car's model year, but let's assume it's for newer models. With the new refrigerant, it starts from 200 zlotys, and then we pay for the refrigerant that's missing 100 zlotys per 100 grams. So we're talking about the new refrigerant plus disinfection in a package for 50 zlotys, which means 250 zlotys. With the new refrigerant, it's a fixed price plus possible fluctuations if we're missing some refrigerant in the system.
So you can make 800 per hour?
It's possible.
It's possible. 800 zlotys an hour. We have 3 workstations, and that happens in the meantime because it's not like someone is working there all the time. So one person handles 3 workstations. Cars keep coming in all the time, 800 to 1,000 zlotys. You know, with the refrigerant, you can make that per hour.
We're talking about the basic service here. If we also do extended disinfection, which we'll be doing in a moment, or washing, then those are completely different amounts. Maybe we'll discuss it while we're working, right? Because...
Let's get to work.
We need to get to work.
Because we've already got 50 zlotys in our pocket from there, so we need to make more money. Let's get to work.
Exactly. We're going to do a full disinfection with evaporator cleaning, so we need to get to the cabin filter. I mentioned lying down, so we might need to contort ourselves a bit, maybe even lie down.
I'm flexible now.
Warm-up coming up soon. Can you handle it?
I'm going without it.
Without it, okay.
An episode about a personal trainer is coming soon on the ROBOTY channel, so subscribe now to stay updated. If you haven't subscribed yet, and I see you, and you haven't subscribed either, then subscribe quickly, click below, and I'll see how many subscriptions we get under this episode. It should be a record. We got it.
We have it, and this is the filter we breathe through.
They got terribly dirty.
I'll give you the camera now, the endoscopic one, so you can see the air conditioning evaporator, which is the part most exposed to fungi and bacteria. Now we have to handle the chemicals and clean it. It didn't click into place. There it is. I'll take the gun from you. Because first, what do we have to do? We have compressed air. We go up to the vents and blow out the ventilation so that everything falls down so we can clean it. When we wash there, we'll wash it off. But from the ventilation, we want the dust to fall down.
Sure.
That's one reason customers from across Poland are drawn to us. We wash the evaporator, which means we get rid of that smell. Because if basic things like ozone treatment don't help anymore, then usually there isn't really an alternative left. You insert the wand, I'll hold the bowl to put under the car, because the liquid will be dripping down. You can start washing. We're changing the tip. I'm washing around there to clean the casing as well. You reached me there because that one is average.
All right.
The evaporator is cleaned. Now we need to let the chemical do its job. There will be one more step, which is a dry fog. Once the chemical sits on the evaporator and starts working, we start the car, set it to recirculation, and we'll introduce the dry fog into the interior. So you'll still need the mask.
All right, I'll leave this here on the side. And what about us? Should we go back to the previous patient, right, to check if...
And yes, we're going to see how it looks in that other car. The service is finished. We have a message here. Check the high and low pressure of the air conditioning system. So let's start the car.
Okay.
I'll go start it. You can watch the gauges. All right. If the air conditioning works properly, it should go down here and up here.
It's going down. Okay, it's going down. Here it's going up. Here it's going down. Here it's going up. If I didn't make a mistake, that means everything is working. Here it was supposed to go down. Here it was supposed to go up.
In general, this is low pressure. It should be around 2. Here it should be between 6 and 10, around 8, depending on the outside temperature. The air conditioning in the Dacia works in a specific way because it turns off and on. That's how the computer controls it. But overall, the pressures are fine. The air conditioning is working.
So, is the job done or is there anything else?
Here, as far as this service is concerned, the job is done. We're disconnecting. It will generate a report for us, print it out, and we'll hand it over to the customer.
Our hands-on work took about 6 minutes, and without me, it probably would have been 5. Connect, check, test the gas that was there before, print it out. The car's air conditioning is working now, and we charge about 250 since we didn't need to refill anything, right?
We refilled. If I recall, it was about 100 grams. We'll confirm in a moment.
So that's another 100 zlotys.
We didn't do the disinfection, so it's 200 plus 100 zlotys, totaling 300 zlotys.
300 zlotys for this, you could say, total amount of work. An hour, but let's say 10 minutes of our actual practical work.
The only other thing we'll do is take a flashlight and visually inspect the system to see if it looks okay. First of all, the condenser, which is at the front, and if it's damaged, the air conditioning doesn't work properly. Not only the compressor suffers, but the whole system. There's the air conditioning compressor. Check if there are any signs of oil or visible damage. And here, as I mentioned, this condenser is a bit similar to that evaporator you cleaned.
Sure, yeah.
You'll see.
More bent up. We bill this to the client.
We put this together. We also fill out our service report in which we write down the pressures, what was done in the system, what the system looks like, if we have any comments about it, and we give this to the client at the end of the service.
The duration is 32 minutes, 49 seconds, and it comes to about 300 zlotys here, including the refrigerant. We're moving on to the next car.
The cleaning solution has already sat on the evaporator and done its job. Now we're connecting this nozzle. You can grab the gun. We're connecting the dry mist nozzle. So, I start the car, turn off the air conditioning, switch to recirculation mode, set the fan to medium, you can open the valve, and now we're introducing into the car the same chemical we used to clean the evaporator, only now in the form of a mist. As you can see, it enters the car, circulates through the ventilation, and disinfects the interior and system. Again, you didn't wear a mask, and I forgot to remind you.
I took it off and put it back on.
We apply this mist for about 30 seconds to a minute, then we leave the car until the mist settles, which takes about 10 to 15 minutes. A lot of our work is just waiting, doing one task and then waiting again. So the more workstations there are, the better, because you can organize the work nicely, operate on a larger scale, and work on more cars at the same time.
As you said, you visit the client. We might show that today, so stay until the end of the video.
Exactly.
Since we're visiting that client,
We also started out mobile, so viewers should keep that in mind if they're looking to start. An air conditioning service doesn't need to have a big workshop. It doesn't even need a workshop at all. All you need is to buy a car. You can easily put these machines in the car and then you just operate as a mobile service.
But you'll also serve fewer customers, since waiting 20 or 30 minutes at a client's place means you can't do anything else.
No, you don't.
You don't have another car to work on? So you have to set the price accordingly higher to make similar money as you would here with 3 cars.
Exactly. Honestly, that's why we don't really go out to regular cars anymore. We have companies we work with, construction machines, excavators. We still go to those, but unfortunately, because of the number of these cars here, we just can't manage to come out. We work on site. As for mobile service, you know, if there's a regular client who needs it, then we'll still come out, but otherwise, unfortunately, it's just not possible.
Sure. So as not to waste time, because time is running there too.
Exactly.
Now let's move to the car we just showed before the service.
Yes.
And now it's been serviced.
Yes, we'll show you what it looks like. We have a new condenser here since leaks are a common air conditioning failure.
That's how it looked.
Exactly. This condenser looked like that. It was leaking and we located the leak on it.
Here, we don't solder or fix things. We just replace them.
When it comes to the condenser, there's no chance, there's no way to repair it. It's not a part that we refurbish. We have to put a new one into the system. We have a test gas, commonly called hydrogen, a nitrogen-hydrogen mixture, or just nitrogen. We have the pressure on the gauges here and we check if it's sealed. We do a nitrogen test. We check if the connections are fitted properly.
Okay.
Because, you know, something could have gone wrong, then you have to fix it. And if there's no leak anywhere else, we leave it like that, preferably for about 24 hours. We come back to the car tomorrow, and if we have the same pressures, it means the gas is holding, so we can release it. And then we do a full service just like we did at the very beginning. And that's it, we're done here, time's up, the fog has cleared, so we open the car to let it air out. Full service cleaning, including endoscopic camera inspection, takes about 3 to 4 hours. We estimate that it takes a while because the dry fog needs to settle and do its job.
Okay, and the cost for this service, since we'd already done some cleaning, we were a bit flexible, even though there was definitely more work on our part.
From 300 to 800 zlotys.
Oh wow, that's a big range, so it depends on what...
It depends on the service, who does the work, because prices vary, different regions of Poland, and it also depends on the car. We generally charge around 350 zlotys at this time because it changes, you know...
That already includes those preparations with the air filter, right?
Without the cabin filter.
Aha, without the filter.
Naturally, after such a procedure, a new filter must be installed, but that's a separate matter.
Another patient has arrived.
Yes, another patient. As I said before, leaks are the most common air conditioning failure, which is the case here. We know this system is already leaking, but now where? So what are we going to do? We inject hydrogen, a nitrogen-hydrogen mix into the system, and we'll use an electronic detector to check the entire system. And we'll see where it detects the gas. When it detects it, it'll beep for us, it'll show us where it is, so we connect, inject the gas inside, and then we'll get to work. We need to join 2 connectors.
It's different now. It was in one place then, and here it's somewhere else.
Yes, yes.
You need to know what brand, what car, where those connectors are.
Yes, or check the system yourself.
Is it true in this industry that you have to keep learning and expanding your knowledge every year? Is this industry developing, I mean the machines and let's say the systems, or is the knowledge rather constant?
Thanks for mentioning it, I actually forgot. Electric and hybrid cars need different maintenance, including special oil and electric compressors, so their upkeep is very different. We have to keep up with technology and learn how to work with electric cars, how to work with hybrids. We have to service them differently, like I mentioned, different oil. That's fundamental.
And it's also worth developing in this area, because we're always talking about development on the ROBOTY channel. So these electric, hybrid, and even some hydrogen cars are coming onto the market. There will only be more of them, and we can't stop that, so it's worth developing skills in this area, like becoming an electric car air conditioning specialist, right?
Exactly. You need to apply a bit of pressure so that the leak shows up. We use about 10 bars and that's taken care of. Then we set it aside. So what's next? We take the detectors, which is another piece of equipment that's useful for this kind of service. There are various detectors, some cheaper and some pricier. This one is less expensive but still works well. So you don't have to invest a lot of money right away because you can buy a detector like this for about 500 zlotys and start searching. So let's turn it on.
Do you work here in winter, or is there no demand for air conditioning then?
In the winter we work in that other workshop because it's heated, the brick one, we heat it with air conditioning. Indeed, this is seasonal work. When summer comes, that's the main season, like it's slowly starting now, and then in September and October it drops off a bit and the standard services mostly end because people don't think about air conditioning.
What do you do outside the season? Do you earn enough to just rest, or...?
You can earn enough to take a break, but there are also big jobs, like replacing the air conditioning evaporator, which we sometimes schedule with the client to do outside the season, if they're willing to wait and have it done with us. And it's a calmer period. In the summer we run between workstations, but in the winter it's peaceful work on one car, tinkering, replacing, repairing.
Here in the lot, we see quite a few different cars. And also a question like, if someone, I don't know, forgot or remembered after 10 years that they have air conditioning, can it still somehow be revived if it hasn't been maintained earlier?
Sometimes, even without servicing for 10 years, the air conditioning still works. Skipping maintenance for a year, 2 or 3 doesn't mean the system will instantly fail. But if we neglect it, if the compressor seizes up, then the costs go up a lot, because metal shavings from the seized compressor spread throughout the whole system and contaminate it. And if we take out that seized compressor and put in a brand new one from the store, those metal shavings circulating in the system will seize it up again.
So that's more work for you, and something else on top of that.
Another task is flushing the system, since even with a new compressor, instructions require flushing before installation.
Okay.
But flushing like that means disassembling the entire system. We have to disassemble every pipe, replace some parts, like this condenser, because it can't be flushed. And we flush each component separately and only then assemble it, do the service again, and that's when the air conditioning finally starts to cool.
Sure, so I need to come to you with my other Volkswagen because nothing in it has been cleaned in a long time.
You're welcome. Let's get to work. Time is passing and we still have field work. Shall we go?
Let's get in the car.
Let's get in the car.
Now we'll show you what air conditioning service looks like in the field.
First, for safety, because there are different cars driving around here, you put one on, I'll put the other one on, so nothing hits us here.
Okay, here we have a little excavator.
We have a little excavator that we're going to work with exactly.
Komatsu. If you haven't seen the episode yet, or maybe you haven't seen anything about the Komatsu company, I made a really cool video about it. We flew to Finland, to Santa Claus's village, and nearby we tested these huge loaders. It turned out to be a really cool video, so if you haven't watched it yet, viewers, go ahead and click.
And now we're back. We need to disconnect the air conditioning so that we don't release the refrigerant into the air, because first of all, it's not allowed, the law forbids it, and second, it's a waste of the refrigerant.
Exactly.
Because this gas does cost money, we just came here to recover it. We'll remove the refrigerant, the company will operate there tomorrow, and after 2 days we come back, refill it, and do the service. So we have a machine that's just for removing the refrigerant. We start up the machine.
All right.
It draws out the refrigerant, and then you can easily disconnect and reconnect the system. Nothing will escape, nothing will happen, and we don't lose any of the gas. Once the company is done, we'll get a heads up, we come over and do the full service, which means pulling a vacuum, filling the system, checking for leaks, and making sure everything is connected properly. Because things can happen even if it's a professional company. Something might not work out, like an O-ring or a seal might get twisted and then it'll be leaking. So we check for leaks, do a full service, and then the operator can have cool air inside. Alright, the recovery is done, we finished. We recovered 1 kilo and 100 grams of refrigerant. Then we have to return it back, and now we're disconnecting.
So we don't get a printed receipt here, right?
No, nothing gets printed here. We always invite customers to stand with us and watch how it looks, especially when we're mobile, because this machine doesn't have a printer.
How does pricing work for this kind of mobile job? Today we made about 300 zlotys on one job and 350 on another. What do you add to the price for a mobile job?
Well, we have to add the travel cost, so the amount has to go up a bit, but also the time, because the time we spend getting here, we could use to service cars at our place, so we lose some time on that. So you have to add that up, calculate how much we need to make it worth it for us to go out.
So after all, it's still better to do it at our shop, but of course viewers can decide for themselves which job is better for them.
Well, of course.
Because some people prefer only on-site service. Well, we did get a bit of work done today. I think without my help there would have been a lot more.
Well, you did. But you also worked a bit, you bent over and did some work too.
There was a bit.
So there was some exercise. I also have something for you. Because you had to earn something, we won't let you go empty-handed. So exactly 200 zlotys.
200 zlotys, friends. It goes in the donation box, but I didn't bring it with me. But if you follow the ROBOTY channel, you know that we collect this money in the box. What do we do with it next? We reinvest it. We often do live streams, whether on Instagram or YouTube, and we let you know what happens with that money next. For now, we're collecting, and you should keep watching the ROBOTY channel, of course. Subscribe, and you'll know exactly what's happening with it. 200 goes into the box. Thank you very much for letting me show
Me too.
what this kind of air conditioning work looks like. Write in the comments if you want to see how to install air conditioning at home, or if you're interested in anything else, just let us know. Leave a like and we'll keep going.
And we also invite you to join us, where we show in more detail how we service the air conditioning, how we repair it, how we diagnose it. So we invite you to join us as well.